Meredith is our former interim executive director, and she is currently our executive in residence. And I'll turn it over to her.
Aloha. You guys, Carissa Moore is here.
Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Oh my God, Carissa Moore is in the house. It's so exciting. Carissa Moore, five-time, world champion surfer, Olympic gold medalist. And she's right here in the home, the former home of Doris Duke, who spent a lot of time surfing with the Kahanamokus, swimming, just out here. She loved water. And so everybody, Ben and the whole team, we were like, forgive me, I'm going to gush for a second, but we were like, one day Carissa Moore being in Doris's house would be the most amazing thing. So it's just it's huge. I'm so glad you're here. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. So let me ask you just a question or two. The New York Times back in January published a profile. It's a really good profile of Carissa. And the headline was something like, an Olympic champion goes in search of her new identity. And it said, I'm going to pull out the subhead. It said, in preparing to step away from surfing, Carissa Moore confronts a question many people face when they make a big change in life. Who am I if I don't do this anymore? So, how did you come to that decision? Was there one single moment? Was it something unfolding? And how are you on the journey so far in making this step away, or this expansion maybe? And just tell us how you're thinking about where you are on this incredible journey and decision.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me here tonight. It is an honor to be at this beautiful palace. I have surfed Cromwell's like my whole life, and I have seen the beautiful red pillars from the ocean and dreamed of coming up here. And I can't believe it's taken me this long.
Welcome home.
Thank you. It's awesome to be able to share this evening with my mom. It's her first night actually ever being here as well, so that's pretty cool. And my good friend Mimi, who is here with me as well. But just to be in the presence of so many powerful women tonight is truly an honor. So thank you for including me and having me here tonight. But no, I am feeling really good, actually. It's been a few weeks, maybe a little bit over a month since I made my announcement that I decided to step away from competing full-time on the championship tour. And at first, I have to be honest, it was really scary. I was scared of what people would think. I think there is the weight of expectation of what I should be doing, what the definition of success looks like, and the potential that I still have. But there's been an aching in my heart to do something different and something new for a few years now and a few seasons. I think after I won my world title and the Olympic gold in 2021, I felt really content. It was the first time I was like, okay, well, now what? What more do I need, And I think that's kind of when I started asking the question of what's next. And to make this decision to walk away is it's really scary to be out of control and to not have it all planned out. And to step into uncertainty, to take that leap of faith. But I'm following my heart, and I feel like most of the time when I've followed my heart, it's ended up better than I could imagine. So, yeah, I've done it, and I'm a little, I don't think I'm completely lost, but I'm a little lost. But I'm enjoying being lost, and I think that sometimes when I wander, that's when I end up stumbling across the greatest gems and gifts in life. And so, I'm embracing being lost, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
you're in addition to being iconic, I think it's too early to call you a legend. At what point? I mean, you're a legend, but and you're iconic, and all of those words. You're it's almost, it feels like it's a word that's used too often these days, but your true authenticity and your relatability for someone who has done incredible things with your life so far is just so remarkable, and so appreciated, so inspiring. We had, I think you heard pieces of this. We had some amazing women in conversation with Kristen before, and they were talking about moments in their life when they realized their creativity, their power, their agency. And I'm wondering if you have a moment or two or something you want to share with us in terms of when you kind of realized your power.
My power. Ooh. I think I don't know if there was one moment that I can say that I have found my power, but I feel the most powerful when I'm in the ocean. I feel the most connected to myself, the most strong when I'm in the ocean. It's also those moments where I'm pushed up against the wall and I have to fight for something and I dig deep and I overcome. I find that that's when I feel the most powerful. And so I feel like I've had a few of those throughout my career. And yet again, I'm facing another one of those moments where I'm kind of having to dig deep and find my own strength. And I, I'm trying to find my power again.
I think you'll find it. We all have faith that you will, and we're rooting for you. I think it's interesting to ask influential people where they find their influential and inspirational, where they find their inspiration. Is there a place? You said the ocean. Is there other people or places where you go to find kind of your inspiration and your kind of ability to refuel?
I think one of the ways that I really refuel is with my family. My mom, my dad, my sister, they're all really creative and incredible people. And I don't ever really, I don't know, I don't really consider myself the most creative person, but leaning on my family and my community and like when I give back and share the love and the joy, I think that that really gives me a lot. So, yeah.
Thank you. I shared with you and Mimi and Nahed over email in advance of this statistic that there's been a lot of research and studies done that women tend to get promoted based on their past performance, whereas men tend to get promoted based on their potential. And there's been a decent amount of studies on this, and I wanted to say it out loud here tonight because someone like you, Carissa, you have so much. Your accomplishments are absolutely impressive, and who you are, it continues to be impressive, and how you bring yourself to the world is inspiring. And it's not just about the past and the present, it's about the potential and the future. So I wanted to talk a little bit about More Aloha, and for you as the creator and founder. And by the way, More Aloha is like the best name for a charitable foundation. I mean, so if you could talk a little bit about what you want to do, maybe tell the audience a little bit about More Aloha and what it is and what you want to do with it. And yeah, why don't we start there?
Okay. Well, I started my charitable foundation, More Aloha, in 2018, and it actually was born from a place where I was lost. I was really struggling. I wasn't performing well on the championship tour, and I was really lacking purpose and passion. And I was encouraged to find a way to give back because that has always been my way to find my way back to myself. And so more aloha means more love, and it was always a dream of mine to use my life experiences and what I've been through to help other girls and women create a life of positivity, passion, and purpose. And it can be really challenging, I'm sure, as you all know, to navigate womanhood and growing up as a young girl. And how can we help the next generation and the other women navigate those waves of mental health and wellness? And since the very first camp, the programs have expanded to mentorships and day events and camps and 6-week mentorship programs. It's growing, it's blossoming. We had our first global exchange this past December, right after Christmas. Never again, never again. No, but it was awesome. We did it with Japan, and just to be able to bridge some of those global gaps and connect and help to make friendships and community, that was super important and rewarding. And I just hope to keep doing this and to reach more women, girls all over the world. And yeah, we just did one on Sunday in Maui, in Lahaina, for the girls affected by the Lahaina fires. It was a really joyful day, and I hope that they're able to take something from that moving forward.
What else, when you think about the future and those moments where you're lost and found and lost and found, what else do you want for your future? What other plans, what other possibilities do you see?
I think I've been leaning into this idea more and more that not having a plan, it's not something that I should be scared of, because instead of feeling like I have it all planned out, it just means there's more possibility. And I have a few things, obviously, that I have my heart set on. This year I'm still competing in 2 events in the Tahiti Pro, and I'm also competing in the Olympics. So I'm I'm putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into giving that my best, and then doing a few more Aloha events this year. And I'd love to start a family with my husband in the near future. But I'm going with the flow, and it's all about sharing the love and the joy. And so I'm going to continue to follow that, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I thank you so much. We have a few minutes if folks want to ask a question, share a thought, comment. She is going to the Olympics very soon. It's pretty amazing. And you said it's not retirement, right? Retirement's not a word that you like. I mean, you're going to the Olympics. How could it be retiring, right?
Yeah, I don't like that word at all. So I've been using this idea of evolution. We're evolving. I love it.
Shout back there if you have a thought or question, because this is a bright spotlight.
We have a question over here.
What made you get into the water to surf for the very first time?
I started surfing because of my parents' passion for the ocean and the water. My mom and dad actually met poolside. They both loved swimming. And I think it was like maybe my dad's master plan to have me fall in love with the ocean so that I'd never leave Hawaii. And definitely mission accomplished.
This is terrible. So Denby and I are standing back here. Which one of you journalists is going to ask a question next? All right. Denby pointed at me. So I'd love to ask you a question about, the cultural importance of, surfing here in Hawaii, and the fact that you're carrying on this, important legacy. We all know that the Kahanamokus were here. You've surfed some of these, and this is such an important thing that you carry forward as an ambassador of Aloha. And wondered how you're going to continue that legacy.
Thank you so much for that very thoughtful question. I'm so proud to be Hawaiian and to be a Hawaiian surfer, to represent our sport, and especially on a world level. as it's a great honor for me. It was really cool to take part in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And I felt through that whole journey and that process that I got to learn so much more about my roots and where I come from and our history. And of course, about our a legendary hero, Duke Hanamoku. And it's really sad to say, but up until that point, I mean, I didn't know much more about his story besides getting to pass his statue almost every day to surf in Waikiki when I was younger. But to learn about what he did and how he carried himself, and it was not about what he did, but how he made people feel. And I think that is his stories. It's the stories that we tell and continue to tell is how he has lived on. And I think it's a great reminder for all of us that just like aloha matters, kindness matters. That's the stuff. If we want to live forever, that's how we will live forever. And I hope that I can hopefully make Hawaii proud and Duke proud and continue to share that aloha spirit wherever I go. And surfing for me, has been so many different things in so many different parts of my life. You know, it started off just with this genuine love for riding waves, and then I loved competitive surfing and being in the jersey, and I still do, but I'm excited to evolve and see what surfing becomes in this next chapter. And I hope it's taking away those layers and just going back to that genuine little kid risk love for the ocean, which I think all Hawaiians share, is just riding waves and that spiritual connection you have not only to yourself, but to the environment and to all the people that have come before. So I carry great pride as a Hawaiian surfer.
Naka shamed it into me as a reporter. So I must also ask you a question, but you're so remarkable and you've done so many things that none of us in this room will ever do. And, to look at you is almost scary. So what do you say to young kids that don't feel like they're so remarkable as you are to do or to get started and to not be afraid?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I feel like tonight I'm going to have to like lug my head out of here. Everybody's been so kind. So, no, thank you. I truly believe that each and every one of us is a miracle in this universe, and we bring something special and unique. And I think that we are all destined for something remarkable in our own way. If I were to give advice to like some kid who is about to embark on their journey and pursuing their passions, I would be just like, go for it. You can do it. Anything is possible when you put your heart and mind to it. And don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's when you learn the most. I've found my greatest strength and resilience in those moments. And so I want to just encourage you to go for it. I'm going for it. I'm getting lost. I'm falling down. And that's what life's about. You're going to do it time and time again. It doesn't matter how old you get. Like, I don't think we ever figure it out. You reach a peak and then you plateau, or you go down into another valley and then you climb again, and you do it over and over and over again. And there's just more lessons to learn. So, yeah.
It's like the Church of Carissa in here. I mean, it's just so inspirational and motivational. Thank you so much. Unless we have one last question. Nahed, you see anyone back there? Yeah, I see a hand. Yeah.
One thing I assume of fame is pressure, and I think it's really powerful that you have this idea of evolution. Was it difficult to move on from such a chapter of your life, both in the eyes of, those who know you and the eyes of yourself?
It's challenging. I like to think pressure makes diamonds. So I don't think like the pressure or the fear ever really goes away. Like there's this, I think I've heard it before, like overcoming your fears, but I think that's unrealistic. I think this whole idea of like being able to like face your fear or like live with your fear, being able to channel the pressure into something positive. like I mentioned before, I just think that like right on the other side of that wall of fear or that other side of pressure, if you can channel in the right way, I think that's really where the magic happens. And obviously I don't know, I'm a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. I want to do what's right. But at the end of the day, I think that if I live authentically and I do what's meaningful to me, everyone will get on board. And so I guess, yeah, if I could encourage anyone else listening, it would be to do what your heart feels is right and what's authentic to you, because I think the universe vibes with that, you know, and the things that you dream of and you want to manifest is on that like frequency of love and like faith and trust. So I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does. It's beautiful. Thank you. Carissa, do you have anything else you want to say or add as we start to close up our chat and our evening?
I just wanted to say thank you again. You know, I want to come back and actually do a proper tour of this beautiful place and get to know Doris Duke a little bit more in depth. But what I've read about her is that she was an incredible lady, and she took her platform and what she had to give back and pay it forward. And she didn't have to. None of us have to. But the fact that she chose to, I think, is really remarkable and super inspiring. And it's a legacy that lives on in this place.
Thank you for those beautiful words. Thank you so much, Carissa Moore. We were talking earlier, some of us, about the importance of male allies and for women to rise and be lost and found and thrive and go on the journey. You can't just do it with one gender or two genders. I mean, it's not a single gender lens. And I really think about that when I think about Shangri-La's executive director, Ben Weitz, because he is one of those male allies.